Hey guys, M.K.S here, back with another video. This is an updated version of my plans. I know I've talked about my plans before, but this is an updated version. I've been thinking about some of my goals. So I talked before about how on Thursdays I like to talk about my goals and my plans. So as it's Thursday, 16th of April, I thought I'd talk about my updated goals. As I talked before about wanting to support Asia at this moment in time, like in April, May, June, and as much of August as possible. And in August, I hope to support quite a few groups in my own way, because it's my birthday month. So I hope I don't mumble too much in this video, and I hope I haven't really planned it quite that much, but I've been thinking of a few ideas. And I was thinking, like, one of the things I wanted to ask actually in the intro before I come up with this list is please share this video and give me as much likes as possible and all that sort of stuff. I really appreciate it. And work, if you can call it work, or the stuff I'm trying to do, if you want to call it that, things I'm trying to do on this channel, whatever you want to call it. I know you might not class it as work, but is to try and help myself, but also to try and become independent, which I've talked about before, but also to help others as well. In this case, people from Asia, in particular, in Asian communities around the world, but especially in Asia itself, and especially the poor. But Asia generally, and Asians generally around the world, as I say, from the diaspora and things like that. So I really appreciate any support of this channel, like sharing of the video, likes, comments, especially people from Asia, and just generally as well, all welcome. But so I really appreciate that. And also, yeah, that was another thing I was going to say, is like feedback on my videos, and also, like, if you can watch as many as possible, I really appreciate it. I hope I'm not too boring, and I hope I don't repeat myself too much. But if you can say comment in each like in the videos, which are your favorite videos, which are your least favorite videos, and why, then I can hopefully, I know YouTube does analytics, but it'd be great to hear from people that are watching as well why they like that specific video, or what sort of things I say that you don't like, or what sort of things you do like. So that would give me some sort of feedback, which would help me to improve these videos, and again, that would help me to get more views, which it would feel good to get views, and also, like, if I can make money to become independent. But as I've talked before about, most of my money I'm going to give away, all being well anyway, if I make enough. So I just want enough to have a living on. But anyway, I'm sorry for waffling. I hope that made some sort of sense. But anyway, don't want to waffle too much. I'm going to try and get on with the list of my goals. Number one, as I talked about, wish to support, and I hope I don't repeat too many points, but just to review, a recap on some of my goals. So any that might have changed, some I might be repeating just to revise or remind myself those goals. So, like, supporting people in Asia, especially from disadvantaged backgrounds, Dalits from India, people from slums and orphanages all across Asia, people from poorest backgrounds and things like that, which I hope to come to. And I'll also talk about, in the future, I hope to have videos as soon as possible talking about reasons, another 30-point list about reasons why I wouldn't support India, if I can think of that many. Oh, sorry, Asia generally, including India and China and the rest of Asia. And also, like, yeah, the reasons why I'm interested in this project, like to find out more about Asia, and it's quite also the interesting sides. I'm not normally that much into culture or history in a way, but it would be fairly interesting to find out some of these things. So yeah, I hope to talk about why I wish to support Asia and why I wish to find out more about Asia and things like that, as well as being part Asian. There are other reasons as well. Number two, I hope to support as many YouTubers as possible from Asia, from Asian backgrounds, and to encourage people to learn about Asia, and to support Asian YouTubers, as I say, generally, all across Asia, and again around the world, from Asian backgrounds as well. I'm part Asians like myself, like Eurasians, Malaysians, and people like that. So I'd love to connect with other people from Asian backgrounds, all over the world, especially from Asia itself. Obviously not excluding anyone, but those are specific groups I hope to help at this moment in time. At other times of the year, I hope to support people from Africa and YouTubers from Africa and things like that. So, but generally people of colour as well, and sort of unite people of colour. And I think I forgot to say in point one as well, another thing I could say is to make Pan-Asianism, where encouraging as many Asian nations, I say Asian nations because it rhymes, but I use the term nations and countries interchangeably. But yeah, I hope to support those to unite together, network together, like I talked before about 4 billion people or so, and also people from the diaspora and people interested in culture, supporting Asia, mixed race people, part Asian people especially, supporting Asia and trying to help Asia to develop further, including tourism, YouTubers, and things like that. Number 3, once again, I've talked about sending, because of my hoarding problems, which I also hope to cover videos about my hoarding problems and my habits as best I can, as difficult as that would be. But again, I try not to repeat too many points, but apologies if I am repeating some of them. But going to review some of these points, but I hope to give as many of my things as possible to parts of Asia. Again, different times like Africa as well, but at the moment I'm focusing mainly on Asia, and I'm hoping to give like freebies, if you like. I also hope, like in the future, to like maybe when quarantine is over, lockdown, obviously you can go out in public, but maybe if I get the confidence in the future, just trying to put the plan out there so that I can perhaps motivate myself, even if I don't believe in myself enough to do it, but in the future maybe believe in myself enough to go into the street and maybe like even work with other people and build a team, like, and ask people, people from Asian backgrounds, and even if I get a chance to go to Asia, which is on my bucket list, which I hope to include as part of these lists, to ask people of Asian backgrounds especially what freedom means to them, and if they feel that Asian culture stops you from being free in some ways, or which Asian countries they think are more free, and sort of questions like that, which I hope to ask in the future, like maybe in 2021, all being well, in April, May, and June, and August, I can ask people from Asian backgrounds. Again, other times I can ask people from African backgrounds or the Black diaspora. At those times, like what freedom means to them, and all sorts of opinion polls like that. Number 4, on that note, what I talked about my bucket list, which I hope to come to ASAP, maybe today or some other time, maybe tomorrow, as soon as possible, basically, depending on what time I've got and all these plans I've got. Sometimes it doesn't feel like there's enough hours in the day, but I hope to do like tours of Asia in the future, maybe like do tours in Asia about supporting dyslexic schools and autistic schools and things like that, and maybe having a team of dyslexic people, bringing dyslexic organisations together to at different times of the year, whenever it's most convenient, to do conferences in Asia about summits and conferences and events about dyslexia awareness, autism, what weaknesses and strengths people with neurodiversity like autism or dyslexia and dyspraxia and ADHD, all those sorts of things, what sort of strengths and weaknesses they have, and maybe talk, maybe if I can get people with dyslexia who are financially successful in their chosen career, of not just Asian but of different backgrounds, to go to Asia and to talk about what tips we can give to people in Asia and how they can support dyslexic students to reach their full potential, and also like how to keep children safe online, how to ensure that children are safe and looked after and things like that. So work with organisations like children charities like the NSPCC, or perhaps if I can get them to convince them to go to parts of Asia as well, to talk about that sort of thing as well, so that they ensure that children are safe. So I hope that makes sense. I'd love to know what you think about each of these points as well. But yeah, on my bucket list, I'd love to go to as many parts of Asia as possible in my lifetime. So especially at certain times of the year, like maybe next April or as soon as possible, and May and June again, in August, and times like that, in October when it's Dyslexia Awareness, to visit as many countries as possible in Asia and Africa as well, to talk about dyslexia awareness. Yes, support as many of those schools as possible, maybe, as I say, to get groups to go to those schools and talk to them. Number 5, I also hope to talk about, as well as talking about my own goals, my own personal goals, I hope to hear from people in Asia what their goals are in different Asian nations and how they can work together. Like China wants to eradicate poverty this year, so how they can work with other Asian nations to share ideas and how they can learn from each other as well as the rest of the world and things like that. Number 6, again, I hope for as many people from Asia as possible to watch this video, and also from the Asian diaspora, and how they can connect with their roots and support charities and things like that. Maybe find out also at the same time, finding out more about Asian culture generally as well, not just 1 or 2 nations, but as many nations as possible from Asia. And again, like perhaps groups from the diaspora can go, like Asian YouTubers or Eurasian YouTubers, Malaysian YouTubers and so forth can go to parts of Asia to find out more about those cultures. I know you get quite a lot of information online, but I wish to encourage more people to do that sort of stuff and help people from Asia, excuse me, to reach their full potential and things like that. Number 7, again, I hope to hear from people from Asia about their ambitions and their views on spirituality and religion and things like that, and do opinion polls, and also to learn about how to encourage more people from Asia around the world or Asian backgrounds to go into politics. Hi, John Bobbitt. John Bobbitt just asked, will you ignore me or talk to me? Well, it depends if you ask questions on this topic. But I don't want the list to go too long, so I realise it's been quite long, so apologies if it looks like I'm ignoring any questions, but I would love to take any questions in the comments section as well about these goals and about any ideas you have as well, and suggestions and things like that. So John Bobbitt asked, how are you finding the quarantine? So-so, I suppose, because I'm quite reclusive anyway. It's not really affecting my life that much. Anyway, back to this, like number 8, I hope to encourage people from Asian nations and Asian backgrounds to talk about what they love about Asia and what they love about each other, their own countries, and each other's countries and things like that. Number 9, as I talked about before, I hope to support Asian projects such as politicians, political goals, writers, authors, and that sort of thing. Again, send them free stuff. John Bobbitt asked, how will I encourage them? That's a good question. Well, on that point, on that note, I hope that my videos will help Asia to be trending, and somehow that might, maybe I'm being naive, but maybe talking about Asia might help them to be empowered, like trend, and make investors want to invest in Asia and encourage Asians to work together. So to encourage each other and come up with ideas and share ideas and things like that. Number 10, I hope to support the 10% poorest people in Asia as well as in every possible nation, and also, as I said, people from slums, orphanages, young people, and things like that. And I'm probably going to shut up now because I don't want this video to be too long, but please comment in the comment section any thoughts, any ideas you have, again, suggestions. How can we support poorer people in Asia, especially from slums and orphanages? What sort of charities could be involved? How can we encourage charities to be involved? How can we encourage people from Asia to be united? John Bobbitt asked, I'm a bit superstitious, so I'm probably going to make this video last 14 minutes. So it's a bit long, but I don't want it to last 13 minutes because of my superstition. So I hope people don't mind out there. But John Bobbitt asked, why have you moved on to Asia when it used to be Africa before? Well, I wanted to mix it up a bit, so I didn't want to just do the same old stuff. So I still want to support Africa, but like in January, February, and March, I've decided I want to support projects like the Global Black Diaspora, Indigenous Australasians, Aborigines, Maoris, people, and find out more about them as well and support them, empower them, encourage tourism to those countries. And April, May, and June more about Asia. July, August, and September more about Indigenous Australasians, and August all 4 sort of groups, which I talked about before. The 4. Sorry, this video is really dragging on, but so I'm probably going to try and cover more about that. I don't think John Bobbitt's asking a few personal questions about my trip. I don't really want people to know my location just in case, but I hope to support the poorest 10% of people from all backgrounds, but at the moment I'm focused on Asia. But anyway, I'm going to probably end this video because I'm conscious that it has gone on too long. If you have made it this far, I really appreciate your views and general support. Please support the channel as much as you can. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your views, thanks for your likes, shares, comments. Thanks for John Bobbitt's questions, even though I think they went a bit off topic, but hopefully I did my best to answer them. Well, I did my best to answer them. Hopefully they were decent. Anyway, sorry for waffling. Peace and love.